So far we have looked at the problem from a very broad perspective, either from a lot of people's perspective or from a time perspective. Now we look at the problem from an emotional perspective, and a very good tool at hand is called as the empathy map. Now empathy map is to understand the emotional makeup of a individual customer when he or she is grappling with the problem. That is what empathy map is all about. So let's take an example in terms of empathy map for a person who is going to college for the very first time. So a child who has been staying at home throughout the schooling years is now going to the college for the first time. What does an empathy map of that particular child looks like? And if I am a counselor or a warden of the hostel, how am I supposed to ensure that the child has a good time and is not feeling homesick or is not having any other challenges that are typically associated with withdrawal syndrome? So the first step of the empathy map is to observe the child, and you can do this through a question and answer. So you prepare a questionnaire, you also observe, you also understand this child from different angles, which is called as triangulation. The first put is the input channel. So in the input channel we try to understand that what is the child seeing and hearing. That's the input channel. So what is the child seeing? The child is seeing dorms, hostels, canteen, rooms, new people, maybe new ways. The child seeing. What is the child hearing? Child is hearing similar complaints. Child is hearing gossips. The child is hearing some commands, some rules and regulations, some sort of chit chat on the corridor. Child is hearing some voices coming from across the corridor, hearing parents on a phone. That's the input channel. Okay. So you have to document what is the child hearing, what is the child seeing. And this is not to be asked alone. You can obviously ask what are you hearing, what are you seeing, but also you can observe, and that's why your observation skills are very much in order. Then you have to start getting into the mind of the child and try to understand what is the child thinking and feeling. And thinking and feeling are two separate entities. For example, what is the child thinking? The child is thinking that will I fit? The child is thinking that when will I get to go back to meet my parents? The child is thinking that is he trustworthy? Should I look at my classmate or should I team up with somebody else? Should I try this new food? Should I mingle with these students who are from different state? That's what I'm thinking. Feeling. What is the child feeling? Child is feeling lost, anxious, socially conscious, maybe bored, maybe depressed, maybe inadequate because of social comparison. The child may be feeling stressed out because of academic pressure. Child may be feeling elated because of sudden freedom that he or she has gotten. You see? So this is a documentation of the mental makeup. So the input channel, processing channel, then the output channel. What is the output channel? The output is what is the child doing and saying. So what's the child doing? Child is making his bed, child is meeting her friends, child is exploring the city, exploring the hostel, the neighborhood, talking to the seniors, talking to the juniors, making a notebook, writing a blog, binging on some movies or social content, saying that complaining to people that I'm not feeling good or adequate about it. So you document the input, the processing and the output, and from these three you distill out the pains and the gains. Pains are the lacunae with the current system and gains are what is the child looking forward to. So pains are from this distillation, whatever I said so far. What are the pains? The pains are inadequate role models, pains are improper guidance, pains are risk of bad company, risk of bad habits. Okay, these are the pains, and missing out on the family, okay, or elderly. Gains, the gains could be developing self confidence is the gain, right? Gain could be exploring yourself, exploring your capacities, meeting new people. These are the gains. And as long as the gain is more than the pain, the child will stay, correct? But the day the pain becomes more than the gain, the child will leave the hostel. So as a warden or as an administrator, what I need to do is to ensure that the pains are always lesser than the gains. This is the gain, this is the pain, this is the equation that I am looking at. To give you a very simple example, being in a queue. Now, as I am recording, we have the IPL going on in the background. Now, I have seen many people standing for 2 hours in a queue to get into the stadium to watch an IPL match, 2 hours in scorching heat of summer heat of India. Now, why are they willing to stand for 2 hours to get into the stadium, whereas they are not even willing to stand for 1 minute in front of an ATM or 2 minutes in a shopping mall checkout queue? Why? Because in the IPL, the pain of standing in the queue is far outweighed by the gain of watching the IPL match. Whereas in the ATM, the pain of standing in the queue is not outweighed by the gain of getting the cash. You getting the point? So at all points of time, you are doing a pain gain calculation. Now, the reason you are with me on this, and I'm assuming you are with me on this particular video, is because the gain of learning something new is more than the pain of missing out on social media or missing out on some of the other activities that you might be doing right now. So, you are doing continuous pain gain analysis. So, what the empathy map helps you to do is to understand the pain and gain composition of your customer and engineering it in such a way that the pains are reduced and the gains are added or gains are amplified. So, that is what is called as an empathy map. And an associated map is what we call as a buyer persona. Now, what is the meaning of the word persona? Persona means mask. So, all buyers, all users are wearing a mask, and you have to really understand what is behind the mask, who is the user. So, buyer persona is to really take a microscopic view of the buyer or the user or the customer and try to understand. Now, some of the details that you can fill in here could be demographics, age, gender, education background, marital status, family income, etc. Objectives, that what does a customer want. So, for example, if I am giving an electric bike to a college going student, demographic would be maybe 21 year of age, female or male, family income maybe 15 lakh in a year or something like that. Okay. Education, graduate. Okay. Objective is to go from point A to point B, being independent, easy on pocket, convenience, safe, okay, environmental friendly. These are the objectives, and that's why electric vehicle. What are the fears and anxieties? The fears and anxieties could be mileage anxiety, or what is called range anxiety. It could be about costly to maintain. It could be about misuse by my friends, which I can't say no to. It could be about after sales value. It could be poor sales network or poor servicing network. What are the needs which I have? So, you have some aspirations, needs. The need which I have is I need quick maintenance, I need short cycle of maintenance and low cost of maintenance. I need more endurance, so 3 people, 2 people can ride. I need more hood space. Okay. Then we have channels through which I can influence the customer. What are the channels through which I can influence? I can influence through the social media. I can influence through events at the campus if I'm selling the scooter. I can influence it perhaps through online mechanisms. I can have a camp in the college. I can influence through some role models, etc. Then sales channels. I can sell using online booking, using a dealership network. I can have direct sales network, etc. So, all in all, what I am trying to offer to you is that, and then you can have a lot of other things like frequency of usage. Do I use it daily? Do I use it less frequently? And what are the other attributes that the person is looking forward to? But in summary, a persona could have multiple dimensions to it, and the idea of a persona is to really understand the customer from a very, very close quarter. So, right from the jobs to be done, we have the jobs to be done, we have the problem exploration map, the stakeholder map, the journey map, the empathy map, and the persona. So, with these 7 techniques which are at your disposal, you can really get a good understanding of what the composition of a customer would look like. And once you have got an understanding, then we try to go and very, very sharply define what a good problem is. And from problem, we'll talk shortly about what is the way we define the problem, but this is how you try to empathize. And I would strongly encourage you that as you're watching this video and the practical project video, you will be able to distill out that what are the problems that we can address using design thinking. Thank you so much.